Hello, and welcome back to episode 13 of Gins Before Friends. My name is Queen Amg, and I am here with my Swift Mockingbird
Hello.
and Morbid Plum.
Hello.
How are we doing this fine Monday, which is the 13th?
Oh,
What
Episode
a
13 on the 13th.
what a coincidence.
I
right?
We did not actually
know.
plan this,
No,
actually.
we didn't.
It's Taylor's favorite number too. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Okay, Swifty. I want to say like it's Whiskey Wednesday, but it's not. It's Monday, and I don't
Yeah.
know what rhymes with Monday.
Monday Fun Day? I don't know.
Manic
Uh,
Monday, Malt Monday. I don't
Malt.
know.
oh yeah, I can have malt Monday, like some single malt whiskey. Like that
Yeah, yeah.
works.
Mm.
I was trying to think of something while I was working. I should have been working, but I was thinking like what rhymes with Monday all day.
Absolutely nothing, I'm
Kill me.
pretty sure.
Nothing fun. Let us know in the comments
Right?
what rhymes with Monday. We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Some really exciting things
Yes.
have been happening in the DBD world. Let's start with something that we wanted, and I know that the community's been wanting is, guys, we have Stranger Things back.
Yes.
Woo!
Woo!
So super excited. But most importantly, we have the Hawkins laboratory map back, which means that we have my favorite Jin back.
Yes.
And
Yes.
which means that when I played the PTB, I let everyone on my team die. It's my Jin. I help no one.
Hey, it's
Um,
just like old times, and I am here for it.
yes. For those who maybe have never played the Hawkins lab map, it is 2 stories. On the top story, there is a gin in a little tiny room, and it's a one-seater. And it's the best gin in the whole game because, one, killers have to decide if they want to go up there or not, or two, if they do go up there, you're just locked in a little room, so have fun.
Yeah, you're pretty screwed if you get caught.
Yeah, especially if against a Myers or a Ghosty, you're
I
dead.
have been
Mhm.
pulled on that. I have been pulled off that gin by a Myers in the past. Yeah, we're super excited.
Yes.
So
Yes.
with Stranger Things, of course, we got the Matt back. We got Nancy Wheeler, Steve Harrington back, all their skins back, and we got our lovely Demogorgon, Demodog. So for those who haven't had any of those characters, you now have a chance to get them. What do you guys think about getting Stranger Things back? Mocking.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to
Yes.
have the map back, especially because I don't know, it has really fun rooms in it,
Mhm.
and I don't know, it's just a nostalgia. I'm just like, it's back. And they didn't change anything as far as I can tell of the map.
Mhm.
Maybe they changed it like graphically, but the layout's still the same as it was before. You got the Rift Room, which I love. I don't know. It's just I'm glad everything is back. The characters are back. All the cosmetics are back in the store, which I had already bought most of them when they were on sale when they left.
Yep.
But I am hoping, and we can also talk about this, like maybe new content will come in because it's in
Mhm.
here. But I am very, very happy it is back and that Behavior now has a working relationship with Netflix again.
Yes.
So what about you, Morbid?
Yes, I was so excited. I was like checking their Twitter all day, like because they
Oh,
released it on the 6th, which is Stranger Things Day.
mm-hmm.
And I was just ready that morning. I was like, it could come at any moment. Because
Yes.
it was already kind of rumored that they were going to
Mhm.
release this. And so, yeah, they tweeted like the Stranger Things writer, I think the writers group and their official Twitter. And then they officially announced it. And I'm just so happy.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is, I say funny, but I realize that there are probably a handful or more of players who haven't yet had them because maybe they haven't been
Mhm.
playing that long. So I'm excited for people to get to experience them for the first time. And yes, Hawkins map, I used to hate it when I first started playing, but honestly, it's one of my favorite maps. So I'm so glad to be able to get back to it and have fun.
That's a good map.
I
Mm-hmm.
Also,
know.
I don't know, like we've been when we were playing it during the PTB, a lot of people were getting tired of it because it was coming up all the time.
Yeah.
And you could tell kind of if they were newer because they were just giving up on the map, whereas I think people had it, back in the past. It was just very nostalgic.
Oh, yeah.
Um, I'm also super excited for Polyester, Twitch streamer, DVD. They put a little Easter egg on the map for him. There's a room that can only be accessed by playing nurse, and they have like a little the formula for actual Polyester on there, and of course Polyester is also his name. So I'm super excited that Polly got his little nod back on the
That's so
map as
cute.
well. So I have to go check. I haven't been watching his stuff, so I need to go backlog and watch his stuff to see his reaction because I bet it was amazing. So I'm super excited for
Oh,
him
when
to
he first found the room, way back
not when
when?
his first found it, but maybe the first time you played it again after it's been
Oh,
off
okay.
so
Yeah,
long.
I haven't seen it since it came back, but I do remember his reaction when he first found the room and like
Yes.
trying to decode it. So,
It
and
was
because
so
it's all about
fun.
the golden
Golden
toolbox.
Yes.
toolboxes. When we talk about tinfoil talks, he's the one that does the tinfoil talk. So, check Polly out, guys.
Hmm.
He's an amazing content creator and a big part of the DVD community. It's just fun to watch. But yeah, he has a little nod in there. But yeah, I'm super excited to have everything back. I'm excited to be able to get all the cosmetics that I missed before
Oh,
Yes.
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
for
Because
everybody.
I'm the same. I bought them when they were on super sale.
No, I only bought one. I only bought Steve's outfit when he works at the ice cream parlor. I have
Scoops
that one.
ahoy.
Spoopy Steve.
Yeah.
Um, but and I think I got one of Nancy's, but other than that, I don't have everything else. And I would always get jealous watching you guys play those other cosmetics. Be like, I don't know if I can get it again, and now I can. So I'm
Nice.
super excited. So that's awesome. That's a big positive. I guess we should go right in and talk about PTB. We're going to go over some of the developer notes and get into everything. There were some map changes, so we'll go through those real quick. The largest maps in the game, Mother's Dwelling and the Temple of Purgation, so the Red Forest Realm, those maps have been reduced in size, which I'm like, okay, they were pretty big to begin with. And they're trying to keep everything consistent with other maps. And Garden of Joy also had some reworks. So the house has been reworked. I haven't seen it yet, but I know, Mocking, you said you've seen it. What were some of the big changes that you saw?
Yeah, Morbid and I think we both played on it,
Both played it? Go.
right?
Yes, from what I remember.
Yeah.
Because we
That
were
was
like, wait, is this new?
I know. Like overall, it seems like the layout's pretty the same of like where the house is and shack,
Yeah.
but inside the house they've added some more breakable walls in different areas. And
Mm.
like upstairs, when you go upstairs, if you go all the way back, you could go right and there was like a vault to drop
Mm-hmm.
down. Well, now there's a breakable wall there, so you can still get there, but you have to go through the bedroom on the left and go like around. So they've kind of just changed the house up. And I think they've added some different loops, but we'll have to see how it comes in live. We did play on it like once, and that the
Yeah.
house was the most noticeable thing I noticed was different with the breakable walls. So I guess they're trying to make it for survivors to navigate the house and get to that drop really fast, unless the killer breaks the wall, of course.
Probably visibility too,
Mm-hmm.
to break things to have more visibility. Because there were some rooms when you run in, there's only like one way in and out.
Yeah. There were a lot of
Um,
dead spaces, or dead ends. I
yeah.
should say.
And the killer couldn't necessarily like see you in there, but if they broke some walls, it'll be interesting to see what loops happen when walls are broken. I do know that they also did some reworks around Killer Shack, which was good because it was very crowded. Like on the outside, it had like buckets and stuff there, and I know all of us
Um,
at one point have been caught on those. So it looks
Oh,
like
okay.
they got rid of some of the things that
they
people were
cleaned it
colliding
up.
into. Yeah. And so
Yeah.
they cleared out the air, which would be good because it's really hard to run Shack if you can't hug it,
Yeah.
like hug
Hmm.
the wall, and you're running into things. So hopefully that would be positive improvement for survivors. So those are
Because
some of the
we
map
need them.
changes. Yeah, we do. We need them
Did
because of the other things they're taking away from us.
Going back to Temple of Purgation and Mother's Dwelling,
Hmm.
didn't they shrink those maps already once? Am I remembering right? I
I
thought they
Well,
changed them once.
they changed them, but it was them like adding all that foliage and stuff. I don't think they
yeah,
messed with the size.
I think they
I
just did a
think they just
rework.
like, yeah.
Oh, I'm pretty sure they shrunk. I want to say the
Yeah,
temple, but
how
I'd have to go back
Unless
and look.
unless it was what they updated.
I could do a quick
Um,
wiki search because it should tell me.
or I guess not updated, but like when they announced what they were doing. maybe that's what you're thinking of, but maybe you're
I
right.
know they did the graphical update, but I
Yeah, let me
swear.
see. There's a change log. Okay. Oh, yeah, you'd be right. Okay, so
Yes.
Look at
patch,
you.
yeah. So it says that in patch 3.70, they reduced the map size from 172 to down to 156. So this would be the second reduction.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I'll be interested to see how
Um,
much smaller it is. Because
It's
yeah, I
interesting
remember
that
the temple
they
being huge.
shrank it again.
let me check Mother's Dwelling to see if this has also had multiple
I don't
mothers.
remember Mother's. Oh, maybe it has. I do remember like the original temple map being huge.
No, this would be the first shrink for Mother's Dwelling.
Interesting.
I think I used as I'll bit as someone who doesn't always want to be in chase. I like the temple map because it really was big. You could
Yeah.
be on one side of the map doing gens, everything's happening on the other. There's no way the killer is gonna leave to kind of come to you because you're way out of the way. But I feel like they're trying to make the maps all kind of equal with how they've been downsizing them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Any other discussion on the map changes?
No, let's go on to something
Uh,
one subject we're gonna have more to talk about.
yeah,
We're
so
just gonna kind of
Yay.
like go gradual, folks. We're gonna like
Wait,
start
why
yeah,
don't we
small and then like each topic's gonna grow in discussion.
I'm
just
saying yay and I don't know why.
well, we're going to talk about the Trickster buff, which I think we can all agree that we're hoping that it's not going to make it to live without changes.
I think
Yeah.
everyone is hoping it doesn't make it to
Ugh,
live with these
I know.
changes.
Let's hope.
All
I'm
right,
not. I'm
so
not.
let's,
Okay.
yeah. No, go ahead, go
Mm,
ahead.
No, I'm.
she has
I'll let you.
thoughts, okay?
Sorry. I'll let you read through them. I'm just saying. I think he does need a change, but
Not this.
Don't know if it's all of this stuff. Some of it, yes. All of it, no. But
Yeah,
let's hear what it is.
okay. So this is a massive buff. So his movement speed increased from 4.4 to 4.6. They said they removed recoil for throwing knives. I can't ever recall there being recoil. I play on controller, and that's normally something you can kind of feel with the controller. If there was recoil, it was minute at
Yeah.
best. Blade ready movement speed, removed pre-throw movement speed reduction. They increased the blade throw speed. They increased laceration meter from 6 to 8. And then they did some major changes to main event, which was like his power that triggered after hitting you with so many blades. So this is where the fun comes in, guys. So they decreased the number of blades required to access the main event from 30. Okay, so it was 30. They decreased it to 6.
I still think they missed a
6
one in
blades.
there.
I think they did too.
I think it's supposed to be like 16, and they were like
Or half, 15. They
15.
decreased it to 6. Now, I can see that they're trying to have counterbalances, but I don't think any of them work. And I think a lot of it has to do with the add-ons. But they did decrease main event duration from 10 seconds to 5 seconds. And of course, pressing the active ability button within 0.3 seconds of activating main event, it does not cancel it. They added 0.5 second to the next main event for each combo score, and then you can check on the PTB to see the scores. But let's get to the add-ons, because the add-ons are what makes this change interesting. So remember, main event used to be 30 blades. Now it's 6 blades. So his add-on updates, they for memento blades, they increased the throw speed by 5%. His add-on Inferno Wires increased duration of main event by 40%. Originally it was 25%. His Autograph add-on decreases the numbers of blades required to reach main event by 1. So if you're playing that now, it's only 5 blades. Tequila Moonrock add-on increases duration of main event by 60%, which is it's a long time. His Fist Spin Soda add-on decreases the number of blades required to reach main event by 2. So let's just say you're running the 2 add-ons that decrease your blades. You could be triggering main event after every 3 blades, which is crazy.
Oh my God.
Yeah, craziness. His waiting for you to watch add-on increases the duration of main event by 2.5 seconds for each blade hit while it's active. So if you're just hitting people, it's going to increase the duration. And then his iridescent photo card, for each consecutive blade hit, gain a stackable 1% haste status effect up to a maximum of 7%. And this bonus is lost when missing a blade or in putting a survivor into the dying state. So he can now move faster. I know we've mentioned this before. I am not sure who's playtesting this stuff because an add-on that he has that wasn't touched, it's an Eerie add-on. It's his Death Throes compilation add-on. And for that add-on, after main event is over, I'm just going to go down to it here. So whenever you exit main event, you replenish your blades. So Trickster is like a huntress where once he runs out of blades, he has to go to a locker to get more blades. But if he's running this add-on after main event, he gets the blades. So now main event starts after 6 seconds. Once that's over after 5 seconds, he gets his blades replenished. So he's not stopping to get a locker to get him. He's just continually chasing you now. And that's if you didn't go down during main event. You like happen to miss it. You're trying to run to like another tile. So I have concerns.
I don't think you're the only one that has
Yeah.
concerns.
I have major tell me about your concerns.
This is like the one thing we didn't play test because, when the PTB came out, we were all about, the main
Oh yeah,
topic we're
yeah.
going to talk about. So, like, I was like, Spooky came
I
out with a video
forgot.
about Trickster. I'm like, oh, they touched Trickster
Mm-hmm.
during this. Like, who cares? But apparently, there's a lot of reason to be concerned. I feel like, are they trying to make him like Huntress? Like, let's just make it 3 blades and like Huntress only needs 2 hatchets to down someone
True.
Yeah.
to dying state. It'll just take if it's you run the 2 add-ons. It's very concerning. Like the add-ons, like I understand having 1 add-on where you reduce the number of blades, but having 2 and if they
Yes.
stack, that's an
Which
issue.
they do.
So
if
far they do.
Yeah,
Now
they
they could
do.
change
So
it,
yeah,
but
but so far if you're running both of the blade add-ons that reduce him, now main event's going to trigger after 3 blades. That's nothing because he throws basically 2 blades at a time.
yeah,
If you
Yeah.
think about it.
He is that fast, like with his hands when
Yes.
he's throwing it. Because I was just watching the video with Spooky, and I mean, it's almost as if they're going like together.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Spooky said he feels more accurate now, like the blades are
Mm-hmm.
hitting more center. But I mean, even before, he has a ton of blades. So I feel like with him, you want to be accurate, but there's room to
Mm-hmm.
not be accurate. Unlike with Huntress, like Huntress has like what 6 hatchets, and so depending on what add-ons you run and all that. But she has considerably less to throw. But with him,
Yeah.
he has like 40 something blades, so you can just if you miss them a few times, it's not a big deal. And if you only have to hit 3, you can just shoot them however. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're running the Eerie add-on, then you don't
Mhm.
even have to worry about reloading, which is my big thing. So anytime a killer has to reload, that's a chance for a survivor to try to get away. But if he's
Exactly.
triggering, like this case, if he was running the add-on for like tap 2 minus blades, it would be triggering every 4 blades. If you did miss the main event, which is possible, it's possible to not go down during main event if you're in a strong tile or something, then you're just continuously being chased because there's no reason for him to stop
Mhm.
unless he switches. But
I feel like the big issue is that it's the number of blades required to
Mhm.
access main event. I don't know why it's 6. I don't know how we went from 30 to 6. And
Mhm.
we were talking about this before. I get the idea. The idea I think they're going for is they're trying to get it so you can use main event more, right? His special ability. And I
Yeah.
get that. And they have nerfed some of it, right? Like forgetting the add-ons, okay? Like laceration meter has been increased from 6 to 8. So it takes
Mhm.
more hits, right? 2 additional hits. And then duration of main event is shorter. It's half the time. It was 10, now it's 5. So the idea is you can get main event more often, but it's shorter, so it shouldn't be as impressive. But and on paper, just looking at the base power, yes, it reads that way. But now we're talking about all the add-ons, and the add-ons, I think, is the problem, along with why is it 6 blades? Why is it? Like I said, I feel like they meant to put like a 1 and make it 16 blades or something. Like,
It was totally a typo.
but that's not how it's playing in PTB. So
Yeah.
so they did it intentionally. It's a very weird buff because I think he does need a change because I mean we don't come across that many tricksters.
We don't.
But I just feel like this is them, like you said, not play testing anything. That or their team doesn't know what to look for. I don't know. So many questions. We all have questions.
Yeah, I'm not sure like who went into the meeting and was like, we should really change Trickster. He kind of sucks. And they're like, okay, cool. Like, was that what happened?
Well, I think they have their spreadsheet of like who gets played, right?
Probably,
Which
yeah, yeah.
killers get played the
Yeah,
most.
the
And
bottom.
so when they get, I'm sure they have like a rotating list of like, we have these really popular killers and then we have these other ones. And they give Trickster so many cosmetics. Do y'all notice that? Like, he gets a
He-
ton of cosmetics and I
yes.
hardly see anyone play him. I don't
I
know
think they were hoping
why.
to like capitalize on the whole K-pop stuff around the
Yeah.
time he came out with,
Yeah.
And maybe
K-pop
he
going over mainstream.
And maybe he gets played more in other regions, and maybe just here in the US he does not because of course we're on different servers. So maybe like in Asia, maybe there's a lot of Trickster players. Who knows? But my guess is, they like their spreadsheets with their list of what's going well and what's not, and that's how we had the almost hillbilly nerf and so now we got
Yeah.
Trickster getting changed, and I think they just kind of disregarded I don't say disregard the add-ons because they changed some of these add-ons and they have like when you read the PTB notes, they tell you which ones are new, like new functionality, right? Like throw speed, the reducing the blades for main event. I don't know. I don't have an explanation. I can't defend behavior on this one. Like I get what they're trying to do, but it's when you throw in the add-ons that messes it all up.
The other
Yeah.
thing that I thought of, I mean, I'm sure this would hopefully not be the case, but I'm like, did they throw this in because of what they release later that we'll talk about, like the new killer? But I don't know. I mean, like, would that be something they're like, hey, let's throw this in. No one's going to notice it because I forgot about it when we were playing. So are they nefarious? Questions.
I don't think they're necessarily being
No.
nefarious. I do agree that he needs a rework because most of the time, even when we come across a trickster, it's more of like an M1 killer. They're hitting you with their bat, their main weapon. Well, not, I guess the blade's supposed to be their main weapon. They're hitting with the bat because it's like they give up. We've had
Yeah.
plenty of tricksters who just give up and they're off in a corner doing main
Yeah.
event by themselves
Yeah.
because they can't
Well,
hit anything.
They hit you at the window vault with the bat, right? Like that's how they
Yeah.
ultimately injure
That's
you.
how they get you. Yeah. So I get that they need a rework, but not this. And also like I don't get it. Was no one looking at the add-ons they weren't changing? Like my first thing at the table, I would have been like, okay guys, so what are we gonna do about his eerie death throes compilation? Like there's no cooldown on that add-on. There's nothing that says, it's just used all the time. So it's like in his reload speed is faster already, and there's perks that can make it faster. But the fact that he doesn't have to reload essentially at all, I was watching games where there was no reload at all. Give the survivors a break. We're out here doing gens.
Let us live our lives.
We're just
okay?
trying to open the doors.
Just trying to do red
And
stuff,
now I'm
okay?
gonna be consistently chased by a killer. And if I don't go down during main event, there's no reason for them to stop chasing. Like,
Well, and
Give us a
even
break.
even if they don't run the Erie, if you watch Spooky Loop's video where
Yeah.
he ran, I guess the add-ons, and then like Iron Maiden, you put
Oh
on
my
top of
God,
that.
yes.
He like it's like a second, if
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
He was making jokes like, "This is the longest reload ever." Here you go, done. Like it's just basically opening the locker animation. That's all it is. Like
For
so
real.
fast. I don't really think it'll go to live like this though. I think there's been too much content made on it
Mhm.
about how OP he is. Some of these changes are good, but it's the like we
It's
already
how they
said.
work together.
It's how they work together and the number
Mhm.
of blades for main event. Like I think
Mhm.
that's it. Like he moves faster. Fine, whatever. You increasing the laceration meter is a nerf, so that's fine, right? Because they're trying to compensate for the main event being more
Yeah.
often. But then if you run the other add-ons, and I think there's also add-ons. Well, now I gotta think about this. Because the only time I play Trickster is when I have a daily. I think there's add-ons also to decrease the laceration meter. It
There's a
does
lot of there's a
yeah,
lot
because
of
that's
laceration
typically
add-ons.
what I run because the daily's typically like injured with the laceration as Trickster, and so that's what I'm trying. That's my goal, right? So I run
Yeah.
those add-ons. So it's just like a lot of combinations of making that can make main event OP, basically. You can
Yeah.
Yeah.
either lessen the laceration meter, you can make the number of blades less, you can run the Erie and have blades all the time and have main event all the time.
Mhm. It's too much.
It's a little
Like
much.
I'm really hoping it doesn't
Agreed.
go
I hope they
live
postpone it
like
or
that.
they just I don't know what I hope. Like I don't know if it should go to live at all.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He
And I
might
always forget too that sometimes things don't go live. So I'm like, oh God, this is gonna happen. But who knows if it will.
they have been better about the feedback before taking stuff
Mhm.
from BTV to live. It used to not be that way. I remember when it was not that way.
Yes,
Yeah.
Like they were
exactly.
just like, no, it's going in still. But they've been better about, seeing what's going on in PTV and being like, oh, this is an issue. This doesn't work how it should. This is too overpowered. So I don't know if they might put part of the rework in. Is that or they're going to rework the numbers and the
Mhm.
add-ons. So we'll just have to see.
Oh, fingers crossed. So essentially, what we have now is if if the idea for Trickster goes live, we now have another killer that benefits from being constantly in chase, right? Hitting the blades. And
Yeah.
then we have, they redid Lady Voldemort, aka Skull Merchant, to make her chase-based killer. And then what they go and do now? They nerfed another chase perk for
I
survivors.
know.
So,
They just want us to
um,
gen rush with all
uh,
gen perks, is what I'm hearing.
right? So,
Basically.
made for this got a nerf. Let me read all the made for this stuff so we can talk about it because I'm sad.
Well, it's pretty much the same, except for
Yeah.
now you have to be in deep wounds, right?
Yeah. So what it
Yeah.
is made for this going forward. This perk activates while you're in injured state after you finish healing another survivor. You gain the endurance status effect for up to 10 seconds. While affected by deep wounds, you run 3% faster. So before, it was while you were injured, you got the 3%, and then you still had the endurance status effect after healing your survivor. Let's all be honest. Most people were not running this for the endurance, they're running it for the speed boost
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
while you're injured, which means that it's kind of a second chance perk. When you get injured, you can still run the killer and you have a little bit of an edge. And then you could stack it with other perks, like resilience or dead hard or something like that to, have those second chances while you're running the killer. Now it only happens when you're in deep wounds. So deep wounds does not happen all the time. it's situational, and not all killers have like ability or perk to put you in deep wounds. I want to kind of read off on here like what deep wounds means for those that may not know. Deep wounds is a debuff for that applies to survivors. Survivors suffering from deep wounds have a special health bar displayed, and if they don't mend, or if they're not being chased, like if you're in chase, it doesn't go down. Or if you're out of chase and you're not mending, you'll go into the dying stage. So you just fall on the ground. So essentially what this is you got hit somehow, you got some sort of endurance effect. The killer hit you during that endurance effect. You went into deep wounds, but you didn't go down. So now you need to mend. So that's what deep wounds is. Hopefully that was a good explanation.
Yeah,
um,
basically
I
think
got it.
about when Legion
yeah,
hits you. But there are
yeah,
ways to proc it as Survivor, but
yes,
not easy. Well, depending on
yeah.
what it is. Not easily.
Yeah, and that's my big thing is now I'm afraid. So I liked it better when it was just you were injured because the speed boost is nice. And then I feel like the healing a survivor to get the endurance is situational. Like you have to build your loadout to get advantage from doing that. And there are perks that you can like instantly pick people up, or if you're taking protection hits, like there's ways to proc the deep wounds. But again, you have to work at it, you know,
Or you gotta
to
be
get
playing
it to
with a
go.
duo or a Swift. Really
Yeah,
is who's
duo
gonna.
or swift, you really have to build your loadout to have other perks that will help you with that. And then I'm afraid what's going to happen is like people complained about this perk. Killers complained about this perk, so it got nerfed. But they're not also on the other side, the killer side, where they came out with all these perks that are, giving killers a speed boost. They didn't nerf any of those, so how equal is it? So we don't have this speed boost anymore, 3%, but they have all their perks that give them their speed boosts. Like I just don't see that's
And
I don't see it as
Bloodlust.
fair. Yeah.
And killers have Bloodlust.
That's
Yes.
Let's
right.
not forget.
Yeah.
Unless they
And
They
run the
and
one
already
because
alien perk.
yeah. But that still gives them a speed boost.
Well, that was like, I feel like the alien perk, which I can't remember, the one where you hit a survivor and you get 5% haste for
Yeah.
like, I can't remember, 10 seconds, whatever it is. I feel like they came out with that perk to be the counter for Made for This.
Yeah.
But now you're making it so Made for This is like the average, like solo queue survivor is not going to run Made for This probably. So, and I mean, I shared a video. There was one content creator, like they made a loadout to go with Made
Mhm.
for This to purposely be in dying wounds, or I'm sorry, deep
Mhm.
wounds. And I mean, there are going to be people that will do that. But I don't feel like that's the average player,
Mm-mm.
obviously. And I feel like the endurance effect was just like a secondary thing. Like if it
Mhm.
happened, it happened. And there were probably like Swifts and Duvos like purposely trying to get it off, to pick someone up with it. But the thing is, I mean, with Made for This, you're injured. So you're not going to be using the buckled up for the people to pick people up.
Mhm.
This is before they make this change, right? But now I'm seeing people run buckle up for the people in the PTB with Made for This because
Mhm.
if you
we had
become,
a few.
yeah,
Yeah.
we did have a few. That's why they ran this. So it's like, so now you can just for the people, and if the killer's there, you have the endurance for Made for This, and then you get into deep wounds, and now you can actually use Made for This to be
Yeah, you get
chased.
this food. Yeah.
So now, and the whole buckle up for the people thing became a thing when they buffed buckle up earlier this year,
Mhm.
right? Remember, people were running it, and
That's right.
killers thought it was so annoying, but they haven't touched
Yeah.
it. It kind of like died out. It was like a thing,
Yeah.
and then survivors moved on and ran other things. But
Yeah.
now, if like a bunch of content creators start making content on like
Which they've
for the
already
people,
started.
buckle up, yeah. And then you can run now. This is how you can use Made for This. And then if you
Mhm.
and then you can also do it. Run a septic on your med kit.
Mhm.
Take a hit, and you're in deep wounds, and you can start using your perk.
Mhm.
We will
So
find our ways behavior.
find our ways.
Well, yeah, but also thing is like for the most part, like all the videos again that are starting to come out from PTB with people doing builds around made for this, those are the content creators. But that's not how normal people are playing,
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's like part of it. They see all these content creators, everyone's coming out doing these builds, and people tend to copy it. But for the most part, like I know on our end, we have the builds that we're comfortable with and that works well when we're swiffing, and we tend to stick to them. Yeah, we'll jazz it up every once in a while, but for the most part, we know that Mocking's probably got Bond on. And,
Sprint burst. It's sprint
yeah, for
burst.
sprimpers, I'm running
That's my
my
favorite.
alert. Like,
Yeah.
uh,
I
we know,
usually always
yeah,
play Prove Thyself.
yeah,
And we'll make it. You always
Morbid's
run, we'll
gonna
make it.
have
Yeah.
the prove themselves or we'll make it. Like, and they kind of complement, so I can tell people where they are. And, Mocking can see where everyone is. If we need a gen done, we're like, Morbid, come over here.
Yep.
Like, that's how we play. We try to have complementary, perks that complement each other. And that's why I'm wondering if that's what it is. If them seeing this like these influx of videos where all these killers are complaining about it and all of these content creators are essentially exploiting the perk if they think that it's worse than it really is.
This brings up the question, and
That's a
I've
good
had
point.
I've had this question. Where does behavior get their feedback from? Do they
Yeah.
just look at YouTube? Do they look at Twitter? Do they look at their spreadsheet and be like, how many people are running made for this? And like, how do they decide to change perks? Like, is it strictly? I feel like a lot of it is the spreadsheet. I say that as in they look at their
Mhm.
stats for the perk and see how many people are running it and that it's super popular. But remember, this perk just like came out
Mhm.
at anniversary. Like
Mhm.
it has not been out like 6 months and they're already nerfing it. And so
Mhm.
I just wonder, where do they get their feedback from? Who are they listening to? Or is it just strictly numbers? And why don't they give it more time? Or why don't they just stick to this is what the perk is? Because I do not feel like this is overpowered. Because, I mean, what would you rather survivors run? Killers, anyone that plays killer out there, what would you rather survivors run? Made for this or a full gen build? Because the whole
Mhm.
gen rush thing was a whole issue at one point. I remember like
Mhm.
killers were all upset, right? And then they had to rework a bunch of stuff for killer and gen perks, and then we got the 3 gen meta, all of that. I just don't know why they can't stick to their decisions sometimes. This also goes back to like we were talking about the other day, like boons. They came up with the concept of
Yeah.
boons. And of course, Circle of Healing was the most popular one. And they changed it, and then basically nerfed it to the ground. And then hardly anyone runs the other boons. Occasionally I see them, but
Dark
there's not
Theory.
Dark Fury, sometimes Shadow Step.
Mhm.
I never, occasionally exponential, very occasionally. It's usually if you see boons, you're playing with like at least a duo. They're
Mhm.
running it for some reason. Solo queue people are not running Circle of Healing anymore. So it's like they had this concept and they've kind of abandoned the boons. And I feel like this people were really talking about this perk because you move faster, but you're injured. Like there is a downside. You're
Mhm.
injured. And depending on the killer, it may not matter if you're moving 3%
Yeah.
faster. Like you're going to get Blight or Nurse. Does this perk really matter? Probably not.
Or now Trickster.
Now
Yeah, right.
Trickster. Nothing's
'Cause
going to help us against Trickster.
yeah, and like, and even if you're doing again, you're injured. In order to get the endurance effect, you have to proactively put yourself in the way of harm. So
hmm
there's a level of not being safe by, especially if you're playing more aggressive, which I feel like is what the whole perk is for. It's, hey, you're injured, but take chase because you got the speed boost. Keep them running longer. Try to help your teammates out. Hey, if you're going to be risky and to go heal somebody, pick them up, and the killer's there, try to do it. And hey, don't worry because you're going to get hit and you're not going to go down. It's all second chance. But you have to play risky for it. So there's that level of give and take, you know what I mean? So we'll see what happens. I just I feel like if you're gonna be making all of your killers more chase oriented, which is a lot of the changes that have been happening is to make them, hey, be in chase, which I get. Like, that's the exciting part of the game, right? Killer's chasing the survivor. The survivor's like, am I gonna get away? But I can't get away if you nerfing all my perks to help me get away.
Yes, and then
Facts.
I don't want to hear about I do not want to hear about sprint bursts like being an
Mhm.
issue, because if you know you're gonna nerf this chase perk, then killers are just gonna complain about
Mhm.
sprint burst. Sprint burst is what I hear will be the next. I mean, sprint burst has
Yeah.
been around forever. I love sprint burst, but you've got basically have sprint burst and life will be the two exhaustion perks of
I love
choice.
life. Yeah.
Yes, which I think a lot of people already run. But if it's like if you can't run made for this, and people still also do run dead hard. I see lots of dead hard still,
Yeah.
and like I know the numbers are down for dead hard, but people are still running it. So are we
Might go
just
up
gonna?
back up.
It might go back up. You're gonna take out
Because
made
if
for
you're gonna,
this.
yeah, in order to trigger deep wounds, people would use dead hard. Like, activate
Well,
dead hard, take the hit.
though no, it doesn't work with made for this because you can't be exhausted,
Oh.
right?
Made persist doesn't say anything about exhaustion though.
Uh-oh.
I thought it ended when you were exhausted. Now I gotta go check.
For dead hard,
No, dead hard makes you exhausted.
yeah, there's nothing in made for this that says it can't be used while exhausted. So they maybe took that away, which I think was a thing originally. Let's take a look.
Yeah, so right now, so what I'm saying is right now, made for this cannot be used when suffering from exhaustion. So right now you can't use, I mean, you can pair them together, but if you use dead hard, you won't have made for this right now. But
Okay.
if you're in deep wounds, you can't use dead hard anyway, so you can't use them
Yeah.
together anyway. So that's probably why they took the exhaustion
Yeah, so now you
out.
can. You can have dead hard. You can use it to trigger the endurance
Yeah,
to
you
go into
could.
deep wounds, and then you would have the speed boost.
Yeah, that is one way.
Any way that would take, so what's the perk where you take the protection hits?
Metal Man,
Metal Man.
Yeah.
a Dash's perk.
Metal Man
Metal Man's
would
not worth
be,
it. You can run off the record. Off the record is another safe perk
yeah,
to run. That's an anti-tunneling perk. And if you get hit with that, you're in deep wounds. Borrowed
yeah.
time hits will count. You know.
Oh, I wonder if borrowed
Ooh.
time's going to be on the rise now, because you have the built-in borrowed time, but if someone's actually running it, borrowed time is hecka long.
Which
It
I've
is
been
longer.
trying to run more often just because I like everybody's little excitement when they're like, "Oh my God."
Borrowed time does come in clutch though for endgame because they have
Yeah.
nerfed all the other like off the record DS don't work once endgame is active. So yeah, borrowed time could be on the rise. I don't know.
It would be a way to trigger it.
It'd be a way to trigger it, and it also just in general for endgame to get someone out of the match,
Mhm.
right? The longer endurance effect. So I don't know.
We'll see what
We'll
happens.
see how much backlash they get
We'll
for
see
this.
what new meta it creates, because I feel like every time, I feel like survivors are always like reactionary to whatever the killer meta is or how it's changing. We're reactionary and we use those perks that will help us. And if something like this happens, we're going to find a way around it. And then people are just
Exactly.
still going to complain.
Yeah. But I mean, they can't just keep messing with everything to make everybody else happy. It's like at some point you have to make, well, that makes no sense. At some point you have to make, people happy on both sides, not just one side. You can't
Yeah.
just say, "Oh, well, the killers don't like it when people do this." Okay, well, there's things that killers do that we don't like. So, yeah.
I feel like this could be a larger discussion of the
Yeah,
meta and how
I thought
often
that
should they
too.
change it? Because I think that's the issue. Because we went for a hell long time with no changes to perks, right? And then they did the big
Mhm.
Yeah.
overhaul 2, 3 years ago of like changing 40 perks, right? Changing everything up. And now I feel like it's all this constant like change. But I'm
Mhm.
like I said earlier, like Made for This came out at anniversary. Like it
Yeah.
hasn't, it's been like a few months. It
Yeah, I would
hasn't
say
been
that.
that long. How quickly should we be changing
Yeah.
perks? Like, can we go at least 6 months before you start, changing the meta for at least for a single perk that,
No.
just came out? Because I don't know how you adequately also test perks. Because also, like I said earlier, when I talked about buckle up for the people, that was a thing. But then I feel like it died off. Like I
Yeah.
feel like sometimes survivors kind of get like a high off of running like, oh, we found this new combo that works really well together. Let's use it. And a lot of content creators do it for a little bit, make the content, it's all big. And then it kind of sometimes it dies off.
I feel like
Like I very rarely see people running buckle up for the people anymore.
Yeah.
it always dies off because let's be realistic. The people running those perks and doing their YouTube compilations of it, they're really skilled. Like there's a
Yes.
Yeah.
reason why they're DBD content
Yeah, you're
creators.
looking at the top like 1% of
Yeah,
people.
the average people don't play like that.
Oh
They're
yeah, for
we're
sure.
we're not that skilled. We love the game,
We like
but
to think we are.
yeah, I want to say like when we've run those kind of combos, I remember like I think we got the for the people off like once.
I
Like
think so too. It was
I
not
um
that successful.
Look,
yeah,
you know what happens when you run buckle up for the people, my experience, you get tunneled out of the
you
game.
get
Once
tunneled
a
out the game.
Yeah.
killer knows you have it,
Yeah,
you
you're
are
screwed.
tunneled hardcore. That is what has happened. Like I've tried and it's fun. It's satisfying to get that off and get someone picked up and take the endurance hit or they take the endurance hit. But yeah, once the killer knows you have it, they play around it and they will either not let the downed person get picked up or they will tunnel you out. So you have to be very skilled to not get tunneled out. And while I
Yeah.
have a lot of hours, I would not say I am like, we're not like content creators playing the game,
Yeah.
streaming the game
No.
several hours every day.
We don't have the skills, yo. So we're not the ones.
Right?
I
I
don't
was
think
like,
the
Don't
average
tunnel me,
person is
bro.
either.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm lucky if I don't get hit first. Like,
And so yeah, so we'll see what happens. I feel like I really do feel like the game is becoming overwhelmingly killer sided. And I try to be like, okay, I know I'm not a killer main and I'm a survivor main, but if you keep taking away all the perks that line up, like if you're gonna nerf this one, then you need to nerf the equivalent that is on the killer side. I don't
exactly.
see any other way to make it balanced because that's why I feel like some of the killer perks we've had have been coming out is because of this. But again, now you're just going to create a meta where people, and we're going to see it, all these videos coming out of content creators triggering deep wounds, having these crazy games where the killers get frustrated in DC, and now people are going to think that that's the norm. And I'm like, no, really, it really is just those 1% of people over here. I'm hiding in a locker. I'm not trying
You need to
to
stop doing
trigger
that without
deep
head on.
wounds.
I
I
swear.
know. I
I
keep getting
swear.
caught. And I had a killer go all the way across the map and found me in a locker. I don't know how. I just anytime I get in a locker, they know where I am. That could be a whole other episode.
Yeah, right.
Queen's Locker Trials.
You
'Cause
start
there's
And
been a
keeping
few
score.
times
every
lately.
time's mocking like, do you have head on? No, I don't
I
run
know.
head
I
on.
know you're not running it. I'm just
Then what are you doing in the locker?
no. This is no
One day,
character. You're better
Thought
off
I was
You're better off hiding behind like a check spot, a corner or somewhere where you can look and taking a hit. than being
I
in
don't
that
know how they
locker.
find me. Anyways,
they just know, okay? They
they
know
just
where you
know.
are.
They just
They
know.
love you.
Someone's on the other side of the map, and there's like, I think Queen went into a locker and checked.
I smell a survivor over
I
here.
smell her. All right. Any last thoughts on made for this?
Oh, I think we vented
No.
enough.
Yeah. Thank you for coming to our made for this TED Talk.
Yes, yes, it was beautiful.
But we gotta get on to the big part, the big
I know.
thing.
Yeah, we have a new
Yay!
killer.
Woo!
Chucky has come to DVD, guys. So we have Chucky. I seriously did not think it was going to happen,
Our
No.
but
little friend.
they made it
Oh,
happen. So, what do you guys think about having Chucky in DVD? Morbid.
I'm so excited. So, yes, obviously, this was something that people have wanted.
Mm-hmm.
We had talked about it, I think, probably not on the podcast, but before we thought, well, look, they have Victor, they have the mechanics for a tiny killer. Like they could do this. And then they put a little teaser where there was a knife missing, and like instantly everybody just knew that it was him. And I love him so much. He's so adorable.
So
Like
cute.
like his little vaults are just so cute, especially like if you're laying on the floor, his little head pops up. Oh my god, I love him. um, I played him in the PTB. We did some customs, me and Mockingbird, and he was just an overall fun killer to play. Like I enjoyed like chasing Mocking. I really did. It was great. He had like good mechanics. He has really funny like one-liners. He's very he has a foul mouth. I'll point that out.
He probably has the most profanity of any killer
Mm-hmm.
in this game.
Yeah, he definitely has a potty mouth.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I was just excited that seeing him live. Well, I mean not live, but in the PTB, he was wonderful. So I'm excited to see him live, and then I'm excited to see what comes in the future for him, especially
Mm-hmm.
cosmetic wise. But we can get into all that too after more of like our thoughts on the killer. But yeah, so his perks seem good. I like I said, we only played like one or two customs. I don't know if anyone's played him yet
Mm-hmm.
in live games. Like
Oh,
I'm sure Mocking might have, but
No, I tried.
we just say
yeah,
custom.
we can go over all of that stuff too. But yeah, so what do you guys think? How about you, Queen?
Well, I'm gonna read just some blurbs real quick, and then I'll get back to our thoughts, so I can
Yeah,
get
yeah.
Mocking's
Yeah,
thoughts too.
yeah. Let's go through the powers and
Yeah,
stuff.
I
Yeah.
didn't
So
I didn't want to give
And
away too much
yeah.
before we covered
and
it, so I
I
was
did
like,
want to
yeah.
I, I think we should also mention that they actually got the voice actor. They got the
Mhm.
actors from Chucky. Brad Dourif is doing the voice of Chucky,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
they are going to have a legendary cosmetic for Tiffany,
Mhm.
and that will
Yeah,
be
Bride of
voiced by
Chucky.
Jennifer Tilly. So I'm like, I'm so psyched that they got the actual actors to do the voices.
Yeah.
Like, makes me want to buy this chapter even more than I already
Mhm.
did,
Mhm.
right? Like, they actually got the actors, and it's just a good sign, like, when they're working with the license like that, that they can get the
Mhm.
actual actors. And so I'm excited to see what Tiffany looks like in the game too. But yes,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
have like all the voice lines, all the profanity.
Yep. Yep.
I laughed so
And
hard when I blinded you, Morbid, and
oh my
Chucky.
god, I
Chucky's like,
know.
"Son of a bitch," and like just like
It was great.
all the lines, like.
Yeah, his lines are wonderful. And I think they did release a picture in like the official welcome
Mm-hmm.
post of Tiffany, so that's there, but obviously she may change, but
She's a
she looks
good
amazing
gal.
so far. We can post it
Mhm.
on our socials later too if you guys haven't seen
Mhm.
it, but I'm just like I'm excited. Like this is
Very
great.
excited.
I haven't been this excited I think since they announced I think it was probably Resident Evil. Like
Mhm. I'm about
that
to
was
say
when I was
probably Resident Evil for
most
you.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
excited. Like I watched that whole stream and I was like, "Oh my god, like this is great." But this, yeah, I'm just excited.
So let me read the press release. So it says Dead by Daylight is thrilled to welcome the good guy himself, Chucky, with a new chapter that features the infamous killer doll in full murderous glory. He's also the first killer to use a third person camera, which is an exciting change for Dead by Daylight fans. Also, exciting change for me. I get really bad, like vertigo and nauseous, so I don't typically
Yes.
play killer. So I did test them out in PTB. You can, if anyone is like me and gets dizzy and stuff, easily for like first person views. So it's third person. You can have a focal point of his tiny, cute little red head,
Yeah.
which will hopefully keep you from like
Yeah.
getting vertigo
Which
or nausea or
I
dizzy.
yeah, I can confirm because I'm the
Yeah.
exact same way, especially when you get stunned, like with the palate
Hmm.
or something else. Like it was great. I didn't feel super
Yeah, I
nauseous
felt
at all.
perfectly fine. So it says, over the years, the fog has welcomed its share of legendary horror icons, but one cannot discuss a roster of this caliber without Chucky. It was previously believed that his size would make it impossible to bring him into the fog, where the killer gameplay loop revolves around picking up, carrying, and hooking survivors. That didn't stop the team from trying to make it happen, and now we're thrilled to finally celebrate the arrival of the most notorious of serial killers, Charles Lee Ray, which I believe is his human, who he
Yes.
was as a person,
No,
right?
yeah, him as
Yes.
the serial killer. Yeah.
Yeah. To help us capture the essence of the character, we honored that Brad Dourif, Chucky's original
Hmm.
voice actor, reprised his iconic role and recorded new lines for the foul-mouthed doll. And then, of course, they're going to be coming out with a skin. As mentioned before, there's already a skin. For it's going to be the Tiffany skin, which is the bride of Chucky, and she's in her adorable little wedding dress with that leather
Yes.
jacket. She looks amazing, and she was voiced by Jennifer Tilly. Let's get into what Chucky does. So, Chucky is the good guy. His killer power. So it's the good guy. The good guy has two separate modes he can switch between: normal mode and hidey ho mode. Due to his short height, the good guy also has a fixed third-person camera positioned above and behind him, giving the player a better view of his surroundings. He is also much shorter than other killers, making him very stealthy. However, he leaves fading footprints behind as he walks. And his special, we're going to go over his special ability and his special attack. So he has the hidey ho mode, which you press the active ability button to enter hidey ho mode for 14 seconds. And while in this mode, the killer has no tear radius and distraction footprints, and audio respond all across the map. Those little footprints are creepy
Yes.
because you're just
Yes.
doing a jid, and all of a sudden these little white footprints pop up, and you hear
Oh,
the
I
sound
know.
of them, and you think he's there.
Look,
Sometimes he is, sometimes he isn't.
I jumped
We
into
went crazy.
PTB not
Yeah,
reading the notes, and I was like, what the hell are these footprints? I
it's
thought he was coming.
spooky.
I didn't read anything before. I just jumped
Yeah,
on as Survivor, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
See here? No. So then
I
I was
was
like, oh.
constantly I was constantly yelling at Maki, like, "Oh my God, what's happening? What's happening? What's
yeah. You
happening?"
just you don't feel safe at all
No.
in the hidey ho mode. He also has slice and dice. So while in hidey ho mode, you press and hold the special attack button to charge up a slice and dice attack. When
It's fun.
charged, he sprints forward at a high speed and triggering an attack at the end or whenever the special attack button is released. So basically it's a big dash and at the end you can strike and hit. And it's considerable. Like
Hmm.
it's
Yeah.
a good charge. And then he also has special ability scamper mode. So while in hidey high mode, when you're near a vault or pallet, you press the interaction button, and you scamper under the pallet.
It's so
It's
Um,
cute.
adorable.
it is so cute, but it's also so scary because if
It
someone's
is.
holding their hidey ho mode, you can drop the pallet, they can trigger it automatically, and then go under, and then probably get a hit. So it's interesting the logistics of using it if they save that power. Let's talk about his perks. So his first perk is Hex Two Can Play. It says anytime you are stunned or blinded by a survivor, and it has the different time frames 4, 3, 2 times. If there is no hex totem associated with this perk, a dull totem becomes a hex totem. While the hex totem stands, survivors who stun or blind you get blinded for 1.5 seconds. I feel like this is more of like a meme perk, but it's funny.
I think this
So
is for all the
Oh,
flashlight saves,
all
right?
the flashlight
yes.
saves, all the stuns,
Oh,
blast
We'll have to
mine.
talk
yes.
about that.
Yeah.
We tested this with
Oh,
everything.
we
Yeah.
test. Yes, Morgan and I tested with every perk. It was so fun. I don't know. I play killer, so I guess I'm used to like being blinded or stunned. So like being stunned as survivor, I thought it was funny.
Hmm.
Especially like if
I
they
would not
did
cleanse
blast
this.
mine.
Oh yeah, if you're somewhere else across the map, you leave your gen with blast mine and go do something else, save someone, and the killer kicks it.
Yep.
You're blinded when they kick it.
Hmm.
So funny.
So that's interesting.
Or head
His
on.
neck head on. So
Yeah.
anytime you do stuff like that. So
Hmm.
interesting. Again, I think it's just funny. Like I wouldn't even be mad at it.
No, I don't. You
No,
can't be
it
mad at
was
this.
funny.
And then he has friends till the end is when you hook a survivor that's not the obsession. The obsession becomes exposed for 20 seconds and reveals their aura. Sorry about Yachty.
Wake up! It's
Well,
not
and
like
Goodness
it's
that
sakes.
late.
voice.
Right?
I
It's
know.
only like it's
You know what?
only it's like 11
It's
p.m.
almost
It's
11. I'm old. Um,
Exactly.
okay, let's see. When you hook a survivor that's not the obsession becomes exposed for 20 seconds and reveals their aura for up to 10 seconds, depending on the tier of the perk. When you hook the obsession, another random survivor screams and reveals their position and becomes the obsession. So it's either you're getting an exposed player or you're switching out your obsessions, and depending on the perks you run with it, because I know there's perks that if you switch out obsession stuff can happen. So interesting. I feel like this is another their big thing recently has been perks that make you scream. So I know like calm spirit's been on the rise on survivor side, so this kind of lines up with what they've been doing. And then batteries included, that's my favorite name. I think it's so
Yeah.
cute. When within 12 meters, this is the one where I'm just like, okay, mini rant. They nerf made for this, and then they came out with this perk. Okay,
I don't know if this perk is strong though. Read
we'll
it.
see. We'll see. When within 12 meters of a completed generator, you have a 5% haste. The movement speed bonus lingers, can be up to 5 seconds when you are no longer in range. This is my thoughts. So ideally, when the survivor's being chased, you're trying to run them away from the gens. So you're most of the time, like we've had it when we were playing, we're like, hey, I've completed this gen over at, the tree and the pallet's still up. So you're going to try to go there to run, the tree while someone goes somewhere else where there's a gen that needs to be done. Now, with this perk, this is my concern. So with this perk, most of the time, if you're running somebody, running the killer, you're running them around an area where there's a completed gen because you don't want to go to the area where there's not completed gens. So now they're going to have that 5% haste, which will linger even once they go out of range for up to 5 seconds. I think that's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
And then on, and on our end, a good perk that if you were trying to run a killer and you would try to combat that and knowing you're probably going to take it would be made for this, but now it doesn't work that way. I think this is
No,
just
it's
like
true.
just
Oh,
like just like when Made
true.
for This came out, and I was like, everyone was talking about the toolbox perk that came out,
Oh,
and
Gabriel's
I was,
toolbox.
yeah, Gabriel's, because this Made for This is a Gabriel perk. They were talking about, oh, this perk is going to be awful, and I was like, I think it's going to be made for this because of the endurance.
I had
And
fun
what
with Made
happened?
for this.
It
Yeah.
was made for this. This is me doing that this time. I think everyone else
I
is going to be
know.
focusing on other perks, and I'm like, batteries included, guys. I'm telling you.
Maybe.
No,
Maybe. I don't
I
know.
felt that in the PTB. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be like a huge thing, like, you said, but I don't know. I feel like it's always those things you don't expect, like, right?
Yeah. But it's a perk that benefits the killer by being in chase. So ideally, as a killer, you want to stay close to the gens that aren't done, right?
Okay.
This rewards you for going away from the gens.
Okay, this is what we're doing. I have a plan.
Oh,
I have a
okay.
plan. We're gonna 99 all the and pop them at the same time.
There you go.
And
Boom, problem
boom,
solved.
and then we're just gonna get out.
Then we're gonna create the new 99 gen meta.
Right.
I just
Look,
thought of
I
that
think
now. Just 90. That's what people do against deadlock comp teams. They
True,
99 the gens. So
but they're smart.
they are smart. That's why they're on comp teams.
exactly right.
And we're not. But like, I mean, if you can figure out like after a gen is done, you could, and you're on a Swift, you can tell your team.
I
Like, I
guess.
think he
Okay, I
has this.
completed this gen. Someone go run him.
So go run him to the
All right, Maki.
uncompleted gen.
This is your moment.
So just, I
You
don't
know
know.
it's gonna be you. We're like, yeah, cool. I completed this gen. You want to chase him around it?
Good luck.
With
I'll hide in the locker.
let me pop my septic so I can
Time
have
him.
made for this. And
Yeah. So that's Chucky.
that is,
I think it's
okay.
gonna be interesting.
He's so adorable.
He is cute. I love when he gets stunned. He just falls down.
I
Oh my,
had oh gosh, and when we were
his
playing,
locker's done.
Hmm.
I know we did a custom, and I was like, "Can I head on you?" Marvin was like, "Can I head on?" Because I hadn't seen the animation. It's so cute. He like falls over
You just
completely.
body slam him to the
Hmm.
ground.
But even like his vault, his window vault is so cute. It's like a child because it's so childlike. Because
Yeah.
he's a doll, like him
He just
climbing
goes
over
under
the
it.
window.
His
Yeah,
little
his
Like
head
window
pops
vault.
up,
Yeah.
the
and
window
then he
vault's so
just
cute.
kind of like tries to get over because he's so tiny, and it's just so cute.
It is so cute.
Um, but it's cool for those who are wondering, like, how does he hook or anything like that. So he's just a doll. He's in the third person. When he's picking people up, he goes into first person and he turns into like the spirit of Charles Lee Ray. And Charles Lee Ray has Chucky in one hand and you in the other. And so that's how he pulls out of lockers, and that's how he hooks, and that's how he picks up. And then
Mhm.
once that animation is done, you just go back to third person and you're Chucky.
Yep.
It
So
was a
it's really
really
cool.
Yeah, it was a really good concept that
Hmm.
they did because our fellow Swift and friend, Fairy Book Nerd, had the same question. How in the hell is he
Yes.
picking somebody up? And I was like, I don't know. And then we played, and I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense because I don't know how the little tiny thing was going to throw you up onto the hook.
Yeah.
I mean, they've gotten,
So.
I will say, behavior's gotten creative on like
Hmm.
hooking survivors because, like, they had that issue with, well, not
True.
issue with Pinhead because apparently Pinhead doesn't touch people. So they use the chains. Sadako, like, levitates you. So
Yeah.
I think this was a good way to do it because I think I don't know much about Child's Play, but his whole goal, I believe, is to get himself back into a human body, right?
Hmm.
So it
I
has to
believe
do
so, yeah.
with voodoo magic. So for him to have like a spirit form does make sense because he's trying to get himself out of the doll into another person.
Hmm.
So I am down with it. I'll be interested to know what hopefully the Tiffany cosmetic, hopefully her spirit form
Yes.
is,
Oh, that would be
her human
cool.
form and
Hmm.
not Charles Lee Ray because I don't know if it wouldn't make much sense.
Makes sense.
And
Yeah.
there is going to be another legendary cosmetic that's coming out that was leaked, but no one knows what
Mm.
it is yet. So lots
Ooh.
of theories about like what movie cosmetic
Yeah,
it might
because
be.
I haven't I haven't watched the show. I know there's a show out, and
Mm-hmm.
then I've only seen Child's Play and maybe Bride of Chucky. So, because he scared the crap out of me when I was little. I used to
Hmm.
think he was gonna pop out of our air conditioning vent and kill me. So, I didn't watch those movies a lot.
No, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how they build on this. Also interesting because we know that there's a twins rework that's going to be happening, and you have Victor,
Ah,
and wondering that if anything that they do with Chucky, maybe they'll also be taking some of that inspiration ideas for how they rework Victor.
Make
yeah.
Victor third
Um,
person.
I think Victor should be third person.
Oh, interesting. I never thought of that. I mean, they have the mechanics for it, so
Yeah,
I feel like they could.
because it's if anyone's played Victor, which I think all of us have in like PTBs or kill your friends matches and stuff, it's hard because you're in the grass. He can get lost.
Yeah.
Visually, I think it's hard to play him. I think it'd be interesting if Victor was third person. To me, that would make sense with how they did Chucky.
Hide Victor in a bush. Oh, Morbid came up with a great idea with Chucky. I
Hmm.
told her she needs to run Insidious. When we were on the Borgo map, there's like bushes you could hide Chucky in.
Yeah,
So it's like
Chucky
Yes,
if
would
you,
blend in.
yes, I
so
ran
if you,
into a few things and I was like, "Oh my God,
you can't
you
see
can't
him.
see me."
So it's like if you ran Insidious because that makes you lose your red stain. If you're
Yeah.
Yeah,
still
that
for three
was
seconds, you like plant yourself by a gen and like jump scare
mhm.
people.
Because that was the only thing that gave me away was my red stain.
Hmm.
But yeah, like there are workarounds for that. And I was like, "Holy shit, you can hide in the bushes."
Oh my God, an Insidious Chucky?
Hmm. Someone please
That
go
would be
forth.
horrible.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I mean,
so
you can use your special, but you don't. It's only 14 seconds, so you don't want to use that in the bush. You want to like wait. You have to wait. You have to bide your time.
But you could
exactly.
trigger it.
Hmm.
You could still trigger it.
Yeah.
Have all your little footprints go everywhere. But you also have Insidious, so no one knows where you are.
Yeah.
if you standing still and then you can just jump out, then you could trigger the dash and just launch yourself at people.
Oh my god. I'm gonna get so jump scared, I just know it. But I'm here for it, so
I'm excited to see what builds people come up with for Chucky, but I think it is Sidious. To just hanging out in a bush. I would totally do that. I wouldn't care how many gins would pop. I'd be like, this is the one gin I'm protecting.
right? And then especially if people are, like, running around trying to find you, like, where are
Yeah.
they? And you're just sitting there in the little bush.
They're gonna
Just
think you're an
launch
AFK Wraith somewhere.
Yeah,
And,
an AK Wraith.
But little do they know you're biding your time.
Yeah, you're just waiting.
and then you hit him with that Noah. That's what you do.
Oh,
Yes.
that'd be no one take any ideas. We're gonna be playing a match and be like, oh my gosh, that's Sidious. Is that Noah? Does someone watch your podcast?
I was like, these are purely hypothetical. Please don't practice
Yeah.
them.
I feel it's just like I feel like it's the equivalent of like jump scare Myers. Like just have a spooky build.
Sometimes that's fun though. You get
It
the,
is.
the little jumping out at you.
It gets the heart going, you know?
Yeah.
And you can't
Chucky?
even mad because it's an adorable doll.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Until he
Oh, what
mores
about-
you and
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, we haven't talked about his Mori.
the
All
Mori.
right.
What do you guys think of the Mori?
I'm trying to remember it. Oh
It's
my god.
fun.
So
he
if-
hits you with the
yeah.
bat.
He
That's
knocks
right,
you
right,
down.
right.
So I shared a video with y'all. I know Morbid didn't get a chance to watch it, but it goes through like what all the different objects are from the different movies, like the bat. No, the hammer. There's a bat and the ruler, but basically he just uses all these different items, impales you with them, hits you, impales you, and then stabs you with the knife and
Stabs
kicks
you in the neck. And then when you're dead, he kicks you.
And he gives an
the
insult.
spine.
Yeah.
Yeah, he insults
There's
you.
the voice lines changes, so there's not like a set voice line. There was one where he calls you a bedwetter and
Yeah.
Yes. He is so mean in his for his Moris, which is on brand, but it's just like, oh, okay, thank you.
they definitely went all out with the language.
Yeah,
Which is, as we
they
said
did.
earlier,
And
if you're,
I
if you're sensitive to cursing, you will not like
Yeah.
playing against
Yeah.
Chucky. Because that's
yeah,
all
I
he does.
definitely I give them kudos for this one. Like they knocked it out of the ballpark.
Yes. The animations are great. The Mori is great. I feel like there's a lot of love and care with this.
They definitely
chapter.
stuck to the essence of Chucky for sure.
Yeah, because I
So-
thought they were not interested in Chucky. Because, well, a while back they had an interview, like a long time ago, probably a couple years ago, where they, it talks about it in the press release where they weren't sure if they could do it, right? Because he's so small. And then I
Yeah,
know
mechanics.
Behavior also went through a phase where they didn't want anything silly in the game. Like they were like super serious about the horror, but I think they have moved away with that with Naughty Bear. I'll mention Naughty Bear for you, Morbid. Naughty Bear
Yay!
came out. We weren't going to talk about Naughty Bear, but they came out with the Naughty Bear cosmetic, which is very silly. I mean, big giant
He's
teddy
so
bear.
adorable.
But it has like the narration lines if you play as him. Like there's a narrator. It reminds me of Stanley Parable. Like, but
Yeah.
anyways, big,
I enjoyed
huge.
all of my Naughty Bear Moris. I'm just gonna point
Moris.
that
Oh
out.
my gosh, the Naughty Bear Mori is so great.
It's what Trapper's Mori should be behavior.
Yeah, it should be.
Yes.
That's what people have envisioned it being, and they gave it to Naughty Bear. I'm just a little bitter, but anyway, because I love Trapper.
I
wish
just
he
love
got the
loading
love.
in and just having a Naughty Bear walk past.
We had so many the day it
It
came
was
out.
So fun.
Oh my god, I
though.
know.
It was great. I wasn't even upset. I'm
Neither
like,
was
heck
I.
yeah, Trapper, Naughty Bear, I'm here for it.
But
It's adorable.
yeah, so I think they've moved away from being super serious, and now we have Chucky, of course, Naughty Bear. So
I think a lot of the super serious went away when Nick Cage came in.
yes, that's true. This has been. Maybe let's talk about this. This has been a great year, license-wise.
been.
We've
Yes.
had Nick Cage, Alien, Stranger Things is back, and now we're getting Chucky. So it's like 4
Chucky.
licenses this year. Even though Stranger Things was in before, I'm still gonna count it because there's been
Yeah.
people that have never played it.
It's back. Totally new for some people.
So like,
I do
great
think it's
year.
been a good year. And it's been like, I still think Nick Cage His perks 10 out of 10 on the meme meter. Like,
Yes.
and I think it helped, like, it's just so much fun running them in general. And I think that helped change some gameplay to where you just had these games that were just pure chaos and it was wonderful. And it's a nice break to the people who are just like, I'm going to kill you all and it's not going to be fun and this game's gonna be over in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Plot twist.
Like that hag game we had the other day. I'm still trying to get over that one. That one hurt.
Don't talk about Hag.
No. But yeah, I don't know. Any final thoughts on Chucky?
No, not that I could think of.
I can't.
I think that's it.
November 28th, he comes out,
Mhm.
I believe.
Yep.
So,
Yes.
end of the month, we will have Chucky, and we'll see him even more. And I'm looking
Nice.
forward to what cosmetics. And I'm hoping he gets a Christmas sweater this year.
You're hoping. I'm sorry, you
Chucky.
cut out.
Oh, I'm hoping he gets a Christmas sweater.
Oh, that'd be
Cute.
so cute.
Oh my God, his tiny little sweater.
A little Christmas sweater. I'm
Yeah.
excited to see some
Which-
of the Christmas sweaters in general that for killers and survivors that don't have them, because I know that as a group we like to collect them.
Oh, yeah.
We do.
Mm-hmm. Just like
And
the Halloween
Spirit
ones.
Halloween has an ugly Christmas sweater for Chucky, so they can have inspiration.
Oh.
Because I bought it last year, and yeah.
I'm already wanting Christmas cosmetics in the game.
Me too.
We're already there.
I know. I asked Mocking, like, is it too early? They're like, no. It's like, I'm gonna put on my reindeer hoodie.
No, we remember, and I wore Felix's pajamas because they're coming out with
Yeah.
the cozy cosmetic.
Oh,
I
that's
can't
right,
remember
the
what I don't have it
cozy-
up.
Cozy
Collection
It's a Sunday
or
cozy
Cozy
collection.
It's basically the pajama collection, right? The kind of
Yes.
Yeah.
winter pajama collection. So more of that's coming out. I need to eventually get Ace's Christmas suit. I do like
Yeah.
the Christmas suit.
Oh, yeah, I love that one. And then we
But-
have the 12. Oh my God, they just have great. I love all of the Christmas cosmetics.
Yeah,
They're so
we're almost
cute.
there. We're
I'm just gonna throw it out. They need a Hanukkah one, but you know that's
Hey,
Yeah,
diversify.
represents.
Yeah.
Represent.
I'm sure at least one of these survivors is Jewish.
probably
Has to be.
At least
That makes sense.
just give him a sweater.
right.
Make up some more right now. Make one of them
Right.
Jewish and give him a Hanukkah sweater.
Retcon.
Throw a sweater in there.
That'd be adorable. All right. Well, I think that's all we have.
Mhm.
So yeah, a lot
All
of
kinds of
fun stuff
stuff.
happening. A lot of stuff that we're not sure about. And then after this we're gonna have a funeral for a Made for This.
We're all gonna start running it right now.
we gotta start running it now, and so
We'll have a little memorial.
I'm gonna rest it right next to my boon.
Oh no.
Boone Circle of
Ah.
Healing.
Circle of
R.I.P.
healing. I'm made for this. They can be with each other in eternal paradise.
There you go.
Oh.
But I guess we'll wrap it up. Time to close out, I guess. And
Yes.
so, oh my God, guys, what was my closing? I went on vacation. I just forgot everything. Oh, I got it. Okay, hold on. I remembered it.
Ooh,
We hope that
good.
you're having a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, and bye.
Bye.
Adios.